If gardening is your passion, or you're simply looking to grow your interest, a brand new season of The Gardener and Friends is coming your way. Join me and my gardening friends, Tanya, sharing her years of hands-on gardening experience, Pindile with her love for all things indoor plants, and Greg with expert advice on the perfect plants to transform your poolside spaces. We'll also be visiting some inspiring gardens brought to life by some of South Africa's most passionate garden professionals. Don't miss The Gardener and Friends from the 6th of October, only on the Home Channel.
Gardening is your passion, digging in the soil is your pleasure, and growing your own food is your mission. We've got a lot in common. Get access to the greatest gardening minds, including yours truly, with The Gardener magazine, filled with the latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips. Available from leading retailers or online at thegardener.co.za. From cover to cover, it's gardening at its best.
The Gardener Masterclass is proudly brought to you by Stark Airs, the foremost African commercial and home gardening specialists of globally sold premium seed and innovative gardening solutions, growing together for a sustainable future. And the Gardener and Detainee magazines. Get access to the greatest gardening minds, latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is October. What the fuck? What happened? Like, where did it go? Do you know the last time I cleaned my eyes, I think I was in July. And then August arrived and I don't know what happened there. September was a blur, but it's been a beautiful blur, an absolutely beautiful blur. Everybody has been busy. I'm sure you have been exceptionally busy in your garden. There's been so much on the go. Open gardens are on the way. Do keep a lookout for those guys and go and visit. You know, when do you get a chance to go and peep in someone's garden? Legally. For free. Sometimes. You know, and sometimes they leave a smidgen of the curtain open. Oh, but I never said that. Anyway, guys, get out there because, you know, getting into someone's open garden where you can see plants growing in situ, you can get ideas. You can steal ideas with your eyes, and therein lies just so many lessons. So do get out there, guys. But it's October. It's October and summer is here. We're at the end of spring, and I don't kind of know, can we say spring's over? I don't want to say that because it's still happening. It was a bit early, but okay, it's over. Okay, but there's good things to come. There's good things to come. The weather is typically end of September, early October. Upside down, all over the place. Couple of sunny days, couple of cold days. Snow in Lesotho. There's really cold weather expected. We've had a beautiful few days in the Western Cape, but now cold weather's coming through. We at the moment here today are really chilly after a few glorious days. So yeah, that's what it is. So we've got to work with that. We really do have to, because if we don't, well, we're going to come a bit unstuck. All right. So guys, we're into the height of summer and there are so many things. Oh gosh. Oh wait, I haven't said hello to anybody. What's wrong with me? Jared, morning. Yes. Oh, Jared asks, what's that? Oh, can you see it later? Yes, you can. It lives on Facebook forever. so you can go and watch it whenever you want. Steph Green, good morning. Good morning, Clyde. Hello. Renata, good morning. Oh, jy kuier in Walvis Bay, Namibia. Lekker ding. Yeah. Always wanted to go there, hey? Always wanted to go and see what's happening there. Sibasisa, good morning. Good to have you on board, guys. And we've got special studio guests today. Drum roll. We've got the Starcares team with us. I'm just going to wait till they're all sitting and upright and looking like their best, and then I'm going to ask Mason to swing around and get to them. And now you hear them giggling in the back there because they're all getting really nervous, because at this point they're worried that I'm going to call one of them up here to come and say hello. But I'm not going to do that. Guys, it's great to have you alongside. And as always, you know, just to share ideas and thoughts and what do we call, we call it throw the bones. You know, when I'm working with the team or when we're thinking about doing something, I always say, well, let's throw the bones. So we take what we have, we throw it down, and we then decide what we're going to pick up and what are the golden nuggets that we're going to keep. And I think it's much like a garden. When you're going to redo a bed, you're looking at a garden bed and you're saying, gosh, I actually don't know where to start. So you decide on keeping the good things, your stable shrubs, beautiful tree, maybe a great performing perennial, and then you weed out. So yeah, it can work in all things in life. Paula, good morning from Maputo. I don't think we've ever had someone from Maputo call in. No. Esme, good morning. Linda from sunny Randburg. BG, good morning. Sepinso from Roodepoort. Chile from the Kingdom of Lesotho. Groovy, baby. Lana from a chilly PE. Yeah, your weather's coming here. Gosh, guys, it's great to have you all on board. Right, so let's get cracking. Summer gardening. Guys, with summer gardening, we know unstable weather, heat, cold, very, very unstable. And with all that beautiful, unstable weather, unfortunately, we're going to need to make sure that we are watering at the right time and we are paying attention. And a friend of mine who always, when you know you've got to pay, you got to really, really focus on something. They say, aandag. So you got to pay attention. And the best way to pay attention, of course, by the powers of observation. Walk around your garden in the morning, take a look. Because that's when those powers of observation are going to be your best friend. You're going to see what's coming into flower. You're going to see what's maybe needing deadheading. You're going to see what hojos are out and about, which is super, super important. So, and with this unstable weather, we know we are going to get lots of rain and sunny days, which means it's going to be important to keep our plants as stable as possible. Okay, how do we get that right? Simple gardening practices, guys. Mulching is number one. And I go on and on and on about this. But I was at a talk the other day and I was like, guys, who mulches? 5-6% put their hands up. I then pretended and I said to them, okay, I'm going to ask that question again, and then you could all put your hands up and then I'll explain what mulching is. It is your best friend. It's your best friend 9 times out of 10. It's free. So come along and have a look here. And, you know, people always get hung up on the technical stuff, and I really don't want you to, because in terms of mulching, most of it is going to be for free. And what is that? Well, it's going to be stuff that you've put through your shredder, organic material. So you've been pruning, you've been cleaning up. This has been put through the shredder, and it's been left just to compost. And look at that. I mean, gee, this smells. This is earthy. Gosh, I wish you could just smell stuff through the camera. When are you going to make that right? When are you going to fix that, guys, Mason? Come on. It's beautiful. It's organic. It's going to break down. It's full of humic content. It's going to add good stuff to your soil. Of course, your own homemade compost. Who couldn't get better than that? Who couldn't get better than this stuff? Fantastic. Okay, then we can go to the stuff that you buy. which this is the first time I'm going to be trying it out. And I just bought a couple of bags. So I thought, well, let me share it with you. Peanut shells. I'm super excited about using the peanut shells. Of course, you can use bark nuggets. You can use your lawn clippings. So as you've cut the lawn, you can also use that. Just don't put the layer too thick, okay? You can use leaves. You can use just plain compost that you buy from your local garden center. So mulching is critical. And why do you do that? Well, you're going to do that so that at the end of the day, we are putting this beautiful organic layer on the soil. What's it going to do? It's going to do a couple of things. Number one, seeds, particularly weed seeds, they need light to germinate. Yeah, they need that. They don't have that light. So I'm talking about the weeds, seeds that are sitting on the surface. They don't get that. They're not going to germinate. Okay, so they're going to be stuck underneath there. Perfect. Number two, if we have heavy torrential downpours, and we've seen this, it helps to protect the soil and stops all that hard-earned compost that you've put down, you know, and maybe all that good fertilizer that you've put down from ending up in the neighbor's garden. I've seen it. We've watched it. Okay, the other thing that it does, it controls the temperature of the soil. So it's like a little electric blanket, which is critical when we're having these huge fluctuations in temperature. So it keeps that soil level nice and constant, and that is going to lead to happier, healthier plants. Funny thing is, when you have happier, healthier plants, your plants don't get sick. That reminds me of something. It's like humans. Yes, when we are healthy and happy, we generally don't get that bug that's going around. True story. And that's exactly the same with plants. All right. So let's talk. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here today. This is amazing. 4 seeds. Sorry, I was just going online to see if my boyfriend was online. He's here. Tiaan, Mora. There's my hottie. Mora, Tiaan, hoe gaan dit? Gaan baie goed met my, dankie. Okay. With all the heat and all of these things going on, guys, chogos, nunus, oh yeah, they are out. They have called all their mates in the district. They have called on their BFFs, and they are coming to our gardens. We've just seen in the last few weeks, we've had quite a foray. Yeah, we've had a multitude of species. It was almost like the United Nations gathering of a G20 summit. Some countries still disagree with participating, but never mind. We're not going to go into that. So what's been happening in the garden? Let me show you these critters. So clivias, guys. That terrible caterpillar that goes cruising around. They lay the eggs on the stem, all right? Those eggs then hatch, and they are those awful caterpillars that then get under the skin here, literally get in between the leaves of the plant. And you can see this is the damage they've been doing. If left unchecked, they are going to go all the way and right into the heart of the plant. And you see that with anything with strap-like leaves like this. So, yeah, it's going to remind you, Agapanthus, Amaryllis, your clivias. Guys, this is an absolute pest of note. And remember I said to you right in the beginning, the powers of observation. So when you're walking around the garden, keep a lookout for these, because these things literally hatch and can create huge destruction. Huge destruction. So caterpillars is one. Watch out on your cycads, because there's that lovely moth that goes along and lays its eggs and then chomps all the lovely new foliage. Of course, because they only love sweet, delicious, fresh stuff to eat. Okay. I've got some more over here. Look at that. We have treated them, so don't stress. I'm going to tell you what to treat with. But you see, they cause absolute riot. Of course, there's the scilla, which is attacks our citrus. You can see there's that little guy. You see there's that little black thing there? That is the scilla on the underside of the leaf, and it makes all those bubbles on the top. Now, in most of these leaves here, because we did treat, you will see that the sill is gone and it's just the bumps that are left. Unfortunately, the bumps will stay there, but at least we've got rid of this little guy who sucks out all the sap and actually causes the leaf to almost become desiccated. Is that the right word? Yeah, I think that's the right word. And it removes all the nutrition. So that's another critter that we found. Oh, and we've got exhibit C. Well, now, here you go. Here is like a science experiment, complete. And I'm going to show you what we've got on there. We've got some mealybug. So mealybug is this fluffy thing here, this fluffy-ish thing, cotton woolly. It really is a terrible pest. Very, very often you'll find it on your citrus where there's ants, or your gardenias, any of your shrubs, or your very soft indoor plants or perennials. And this being a little indoor plant, yes, you can see it's doing its thing. Together with that comes a few scale. There's the scale. Oh, look at it. Oh, it's so gross. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we're going to have these down to aphids, those little 6-legged little guys that are on the top, and they just take out all the juice out of your plants. And, of course, those we have to treat. So what are we going to use? What are we going to use that's safe? What are we going to use that we know if we're spraying veggies, for instance, that we can spray it and in literally 2 days you are able to pick? Okay, and that's important, guys. That's really, really important for me. So as a general, I'm going to talk about this over here. And when we talk about chemicals and insecticides, just that word, chemical, that kind of gives me a twitch. So we really want to make informed decisions and find something that is going to be safe for our environment and safe for us. Yeah. And one big thing, if you are spraying something, now let's just pretend that this is, oh no, actually, what am I doing? Let me do it this way. This is a better explanation. I'm going to use this here. Let's pretend that this is the plant that we know, and we know that there's mealybug and scale, and let's say there's some critters going on here. You're not going to spray the flowers, okay, because that's not where the affected areas are. You're not going to spray the flowers. As much as possible, try and avoid spraying the flowers. However, if we are spraying for CMR beetle, ooh, that is that horrible beetle that when you go to smell a beautiful rose and it sits right in the cup of the beetle and it's got those yellow and black stripes, it's awful. And then when you grab it, it like clings to you. It gives me the chills. I can't stand them. But if you are going to be spraying for something like that, then by all means you have to spray on the flowers. So let's talk through this over here. It's called Organicide Plus, guys. And this has been one of the few chemicals out there. And I can't even call it a chemical because it's actually not made up of chemicals. It's an insecticide that has been certified for organic farming. Certified. Okay, that means it's not gone through all the processes. And I want to show you what it's made up of. And this is the part of the box that I always want you guys to look at the back here, where it says active ingredients. So it's got canola oil in it, right? We know canola oil. Geez, in the Cape at the moment, those yellow fields are looking just beautiful. I wanted to run in there and roll around them, but I thought the farmer wouldn't be too happy with me. So canola oil, garlic extract. When you open this bottle, you'll think you've stepped into a Portuguese restaurant. True story. It's got pyrethrum. Pyrethrum is from the chrysanthemum plant, okay? And then it's got this thing here, which is called a synergist. Now, what is a synergist? A synergist is basically a chemical. It's the only chemical that's added in here that makes these guys work effectively. And what a synergist actually does is it breaks down the resistance of the insect, but completely harmless to us. So the bottom line is that if you're using something that's got garlic and it's got canola oil and it's got chrysanthemum extract, yeah, all of that is safe. So follow the instructions as always. It's really important. Come on now. I mean, the instructions are here. Do follow them. But what at the end of the day, when you were looking at it here, and let's just go into it. Let me show you here very, very quickly, because they make life very simple. It says like 5 mils into 1 liter of water. If it's for roses, this can also do ants, which is really good. 5 mils into 1 liter of water. There's the CMR beetle, 10 mils into 1 liter of water. So, right, those are your dilution rates. But here's a quick tip when you're doing dilution. So, say we're using 1 liter of water. You're only going to, that's what our dilution is, because we're not going to need any more. You will fill your spray bottle with half a liter first. Half a liter first. So, half of your final amount that you need. Then you're going to add in your muti and give it a good shake. Then you're going to add it in. You're going to give it a stir, especially when we're using something that's organic like this, which has an oil. And then you're going to add the rest of your water. And you're continuously going to give this thing a good shake and keep it agitated whilst you're using it. Say, for instance, you don't finish spraying and you wait till the next morning. Whatever you're going to do, give it a good shake. All right, because it's got the oils, it's important that you then agitate it so that you can spray. I do want to show you something here. Oh, and the other thing that this thing does, which is because of the garlic. We know what garlic, yeah, smelly. It also acts as a repellent. Okay, so it's actually not going to be like, oh, come on guys, come to me. It actually repels insects as well. So it works in 2 ways. So something that's safe, good to use. Yeah, we do literally only use that in terms of any kind of pesticides or chemicals. Now, I want to show you Exhibit A. It is geranium time. Beautiful time. Everybody's geraniums are looking amazing. But look closely here. Come in over here. You know, because one day you've got beautiful geraniums and the next day, nothing's opening. Like they get to there and then they start. But look at these little, look at there. This is what I call the powers of observation. Do you see those little black things there? That's the caterpillar poop, guys. That is the first sign that there's something going on here. So this morning, I picked this guy up and I'm looking for it and saying, well, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And I know exactly where it's gone. If you look over, where are you? Where are you? I was looking earlier this morning and saying, where has this critter gone to? And what they do is, there it is. Get in there. Look at it. Made a hole straight through the flower bud. Like, how dare you? Straight into the flower bud. And it has got in there and it is going to seriously destroy this. So they eat all the lovely little petals that are fresh and gorgeous inside there. And that's why we need to make sure that we are going to get out there and keep them at bay. If you have got geraniums, guys, and I need to tell you this because with the rains and the unstable weather, please remember, if this one has been affected, it's going over, please just remember to snap off these older stems and flowers. The more you do that, the better the plant is going to be and perform. So get rid of these guys, these that are going over. And remember, when you're watering geraniums and petunias, also always water the base. You're watering the soil. Try not to water the actual plant, especially the flowers, because then they can get damaged. Okay, right. So that is Jojo and Nunu Patrol. Are you all with me? You're on target. Yes. Okay. So, tough plants. Let's talk about some plants that, man, they do scream summer for me. So come along here. And a lot of these are in the garden. In fact, what am I doing? No, let's go back this way. Come, let's go back this way. Reverse, reverse, reverse. And I'm going to take this guy along with me because, look, this is the summer garden. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. Of course, one of the stars of the show. And if you don't have this plant, go out and find them. They are in your local garden center now. They are a bit dear, but I promise you, I've had these in the garden for years and years and years. It's a plant that doesn't get eaten by hojos. It doesn't really. It really doesn't get eaten by hojos. No diseases. It's tough. It's reliable. And it's going to give me loads of flowers, not only for the garden, but also for the vase. And of course, those are the beautiful Incalillys. And look at this. This is Indian summer. Look at that beautiful stem. This is Indian summer. Look at that flower. I mean, Incalillys, and these are one of the the new improved, they have been worked on as a plant so that they don't get like tall like this and then fall over. Yeah, because we've seen that in gardens. This one is called Summer. I think it's called Summertime. Look at that lovely color. Look at that. And then we've got this riotous, like shock me, beautiful red. And they are spectacular. So they are going to go on and on in your garden. Just a quick thing with Incas. If you are going to be picking, so this is how you're going to be buying a plant. You could buy them in slightly smaller pots. But Incalillies are made up of a bulb. Okay, so they're a bulbous plant. They do die down. Some of them do die down completely in the winter months, depending on how cold you are. But because it's a bulb, you can be in really, really cold conditions, frost areas, and they'll be fine. So here, this is what I want to get into here and show you. So I'm going to get in here. Oh, okay, sorry, big guy, but I'll put you in the garden a little bit later. I'm really trying to find a bulb for you. So, come on, where are you? Okay, I'm getting in there. There they are, deep inside here. So there's the bulb right in the bottom here. That bulb is the storage organ, which is going to keep it doing so well. Now, we talk about tough plants. This plant hardly needs water. Really, really hardly needs water. So once you've got it in the garden and it's doing its thing, it should be incredibly happy. But, when we're going to pick for the vase, when you're going to pick, or say it's finished flowering and you want to deal with it and just keep it a little bit neater. Remember with Incas, you don't cut. You never cut for the vase. Because they're a bulbous plant, okay, you're going to grab a stem, okay, so I'm going to open this one up here so you can see it. You're going to grab a stem, and normally I do it with two hands. I normally grab one there, and then I put my other hand down here, all right, and then stand over the plant. But this I can show you. You just grab it, and it's 1, 2, 3. It's like pulling out a tooth. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, we'll do another example quickly for you. So here we go. Here's another one here. Let's say we're going to take this guy out over here. And it literally is get in there, 1, 2, 3, and out it comes. So we've pulled it out and we've snapped it off from the bulb. You see that? Snapped it off from the bulb, which means that wherever we snap that off, it's now going to cause another growth. It's almost going to like fast track the growth. Whereas if we pruned it up here, this is going to take its time to die back and look all awful and revolting. So yeah, just helps. It really, really does just help. So let's put this little guy here because you're going to have to go into the garden straight after this. Okay, I believe we've got some questions. So let's get on to and have a look here. Oh la la, 1 second. Chele. Any ideas on snails and slugs? They've destroyed my garden. With the rain, with spring rains. And remember, most of the slugs and snails, they hibernate in winter. They hibernate during the winter months. And then as soon as temperatures start rising, we've had that first rain. Boy, out they come and they're like, thanks for fertilizing the garden. And thanks for making everything grow so nicely because I'm not just going to eat it all. Guys, with slugs and snails, remember that they eat at night. They eat at night, so you're not going to see them during the day. So the best thing is get one of those fishing headlamps. True story. I got one. I got two. I got one in the garage and I got one inside there. And when I take the dogs out at night, I put my fishing headlamp on, not on flash mode, just on normal strobe. And I go out into the garden and I look for the snails. And yeah, I hope my neighbor's not listening at the moment. Because what I do is then when I find them, I just parachute them. So just a word of warning, just make sure that you know your neighbor's indoors when you're going out on snail patrol. Okay, or you can just squash them. Okay. The other way that you can do is use this little gadget here. And it's basically a little snail trap. And there it is with its little hoodie. Nice and easy to use, guys. All that you do is you're going to bury this into the garden up to there. Bury it in the garden. Okay, you're going to buy 6 beers. You're going to drink 5. Yes, you heard me right. You're going to buy 6 beers. Brand of choice. I really not mind. I do think they should be alcoholic beers, just for good measure. You're going to bury it up to there, and then you're going to fill this little guy with beer. Fill it with beer, and then you put the little hoodie on, and then you leave it. You leave it for like a week. And in a week's time, you go back and you open this thing, and I promise you, there will be a whole rugby team of snails that have drowned, very happy, drunk as skunks in this thing over here. So what is it? I mean, are they being poisoned? Are they being... Well, we do know that if you have to have too many beers, we know there's going to be a problem. So what it does is the snails are attracted to the yeast, the smell of the yeast in the beer. And they go along and they fall in, and yeah, as you know, the rest is history. So that can do the job. Right, got you. Any suggestions for treating a curly leaf on the young peach tree? That's exactly the thing. That's this. So curly leaf, wait, on a peach tree. No. Okay, hang 10. Curly leaf on a peach tree. Okay, there could be so many things, but I'm going to basically troubleshoot and go down with you. First of all, it could be a little thrip, which is tiny, tiny, tiny. It could also be a spider, a red spider mite. Now, red spider mite, which the Organicide also does, guys, is on the underside of the leaf. They live on the underside. And they're millions. Like they're millions of them, okay? And they're very, very small, so you've got to look really carefully. And they suck the sap, and they breed every 3 days. Hundreds, hatch every 3 days. So you've got to really get to them and nail them. And that, where those little red spiders suck all that moisture out, it can cause the curliness. I don't know if you've sprayed anywhere of late, or if you've used any herbicides, or you might have, I don't know, that does worry me as well. I don't know if it could be a fungal. I see you've mentioned fungal here, but I am cautious to say that it's not, because it's so early in the season. What I would suggest is if you could take some pics of it and pop us an email to info@thegardener, and then we can take a closer look at it. But I don't think it's fungal. Somehow, I don't know. But I'd be interested to know. All right, Clyde, you want to know what herbs to grow in Cape Town? Can you recommend some? Oh man, you can grow any herbs. From thyme, sage. Sage is going to do really well coming into your drier season. Rosemary, oregano, whatever. Basil. Oh, but sweet basil, I would wait until it gets a little bit warmer, and then you can sow your basil seed, okay? And, by the way, in terms of herbs, coriander, you never, ever, ever buy a coriander plant. Ach, nee man. No. Because if you have bought a coriander plant, I'm sure you bought this lovely little lush coriander plant, also known as cilantro, or you either love it or you hate it. You plant it, and within 4 days or a week, it's already flowering and it's miserable and dead. It's because it doesn't like being transplanted. It doesn't like being grown in a pot. It just doesn't. So, in terms of what am I talking about? Coriander. Only sow it, and sow it thick, guys. Nice and thick, and keep it very, very moist. So, herbs, you've got. Like, you go out there, go to your local garden centre, see what they've got, and just go boss. There's your answer. Right. Okay. Emile, I have 2 questions, if you have time to answer. My orange tree is still small and had its first fruit this year. Nice. However, the fruit was more sour. Oh, shame, Emile. The fruit was more sour than any of my lemons. Any advice? What? Old advice was to add coarse salt. Ach, jene, nee, Emile, who gave you that terrible advice? Okay, no, Emile, definitely no coarse salt. I'm going to tell you this. Generally, when lemon trees or any citrus bears its first crop, the crop is going to be small, and if we haven't fertilized in that, it might be a bit sour. So, first 1 second year of any fruit tree. Let's just say, and I'm going to use this as an example to show you. Let's pretend that these are the small lemons, okay, over here. So it's flowered. Now we've got small lemons developing. What I would strongly urge you to do is to, if there are 3 there, I would remove this little guy. Okay? Leave 2. There were 5, I would remove 2. Because by doing that, what you do is you put so much less stress on the plant and you get fewer fruit but bigger fruit. But what that lemon tree of yours is needing, I think, is a really good fertilizing. I think it's needing a good fertilizing, and it is also needing a liquid pep-me-up. I do want to ask you, was your lemon tree grafted? Was it bought from a garden center? So was it a proper grafted tree? And I'm not going to have time to talk more about that, but you'll feel as you go down the stem, you'll feel if there's like a little kind of indent, a little scale or scab, where you can see there was a scar, and that is where your smooth-skinned lemon was grafted onto the stem of your rough-skinned lemon. Okay, but you seriously, you got to fertilize. So what are we going to fertilize with, guys? To keep everything doing their thing, I want you to use an organic fertilizer. Now, this is an all-purpose. So this would be for your general gardening, general planting. This all-purpose fertilizer's base is chicken litter. So this is it. And one thing I want you to pay attention to when looking at this fertilizer, it's got no mold on it. It's got no mold. It's got nothing growing on it. It's not wet and soggy. Hardly smells. This is a chicken litter based organic fertilizer. It's slow release. And it's full of fulvic and humic acids. Now, Tanya, that's lovely. It's like telling me I've got some blood disease or something. What is fulvic and humic acid? I mean, what does that mean in my life? And is it going to improve my garden? So fulvic and humic acids are important soil compounds, and what they do when you use organic fertilizers, which harbor and which contain fulvic acids, what it does is it's an important source of carbohydrates for plants. What are carbohydrates? Carbo load, run, have energy, right? So fulvic acids and humic acids are a carbohydrate which give the plant superb support, strength, and they help to make the other nutrition, so the nitrogen, the potassium, the phosphates, make it available to the plant. Okay, so that is what it is. And remember what I said right in the beginning? If you've got a healthy plant that's got the right nutrition, it's generally not going to get anything wrong with it. It's not going to get sick. Okay, so how do we use this, guys? Because it's an organic slow release, a handful, okay, because nobody really ever reads the instructions, although the people do a lot of work to write all of this on the back of this packaging over here. Nobody actually reads it. God bless you all, and the donkey. I know you don't actually pay attention to it, so I'm just going to tell you very quickly, is that a handful is about 40 to 60 grams. All right, that's a handful. And you would apply 100 grams of this per square meter. General plants, trees would get more. You could use it in the planting hole when you're planting. You can use it to existing plants. You can even give it to some of your container plants. Sprinkle a little bit around. As you water it, you see it'll start swelling and swelling and swelling and swelling. And that swelling lasts for a long, long time, because then in time, so the nutrition gets released. So, and the other thing is, if you are fertilizing, okay, and I know you get excited like me when I'm in the garden and I fertilize. I first start off very, very, very well disciplined. If this is the plant, we're going to put it around the plant. I'm going to be very disciplined. And then by halfway through, I'm like, I'm so over this, okay? And then you just start hoying. I've seen you. You just take handfuls and you run and you think you're Mary Poppins and you're throwing the fertilizer at will around the garden. So if it lands on some leaves, which it does, because it's an organic fertilizer, it is not going to burn, which is really important. Okay, right, so that's what you do. Feed. Okay, right, next up. Guys, so we've got the feeding. we're there. We've sorted out your jorjos. What about, shall I going to do, no, I'm not going to do that now. No, we're going to jump into, are there any more questions? No more questions? All right. Oh, I'm going to answer them later. Sorry, guys. And Fun Police has told me I can't answer them now, so I'm going to answer them later. All right. So what I want to go into now is some beautiful, probably one of the times of the year where we get to enjoy a plant that I love, love, love to hate. Let's get into Sow and Grow. Alrighty, guys. So it is October, and October is Rose Month. Wherever you are in South Africa, rose gardens are bursting. And if they're not bursting, then you've done something wrong and you need to help them burst. Okay, it means that they're hungry. Roses are, if anything, people say to me, what's the secret with roses? It's really simple. Roses are hungry plants. And if I expect you, if I had to say, let's do it this way. If I had to say that every flower is a smile on a rose. 1, 2, 3. I'm over 15 here. Okay. And I often say to folks, okay, start smiling. Okay, smile with me. Come on. Amuse me. Smile with me. Hold your smile. Hold it. You know, it's like when someone's very slow with the camera. And they're like, hold on, I'm still focusing. I'm still trying to focus. And you're like, at that point, you're like, you start now pulling faces, you know, and you're doing all those funny things. We are asking a rose to smile for a long, long time. And to smile for a long, long time, you need a lot of energy. Okay, 52 muscles, I'm told, to smile. You need a lot of energy. And for successful roses, they need good deep watering. They need incredibly good mulch, which we've spoken about. And they need food. Okay. So especially in pots, guys, where are they going to get the food from? And yes, a rose garden, like any garden, is a kind of artificial environment in which we are wanting them to bloom and do their thing. So we've got to make sure that they are healthy. And a healthy rose needs healthy leaves. If your leaves are not good, fresh, without disease, this is the engine room. And this will determine that. If we don't have this, we ain't going to have these flowers. So it's really important that we feed, mulch, and water. Let's get into just a few tips quickly on general maintenance. And I am, guys, actually I have to just go like a slight roundy here. I was sent this pair of secateurs. Have a look at them. Now, this pair of secateurs is, look at the name here, it's called Fiscars. I have had the pleasure of getting to use them, and for the first time they're going to be available in South Africa. First time. I think this brand is over 125 years old. Really amazing quality, and they're going to be available at your local builders very, very soon. Sharp, good. Okay, and I got the loppers too, so yeah. Okay, let's get down to some basic care and maintenance. With your rose, remember, any roses, deadheading. Please deadhead. The more you deadhead, the more you're going to encourage flowering. When you're deadheading on a floribunda, like this one is, floribunda has many flowers at the top, not your single-stemmed rose, okay? We would literally just go down and we would just get to a good healthy leaf and nip it off. That's all we would do. Over here, we would go down and we would just nip it off. The more we do that and the more we deadhead, the healthier the rose is going to be. And the more energy is going to go into producing more flowers. Okay, but let's talk about feeding. And a really good way of feeding, and I'm going to give you a bit of a concoction here, is with this stuff here. It's called rose food. It comes in one of these packs that's got a little sealy goodie here, so you can seal it up again when you finished using it. It's incredibly affordable, and when I talk about affordable, I'm talking about it goes a long way, because you get a little scoop in here, and basically in 5 liters, if you were doing a foliar application, so the different, you get a foliar and you get a drench. Okay, foliar, as the word says, foliar is when you are going to spray it on the leaves. Now, if your roses have got a cough, they've got a snotty nose, they're just not looking great, okay? Foliar feed gives you your quickest, instant results. Makes sense? Yeah, because it's just going right there. It's going right to the energy source where the nutrition is needed. So foliar feed gives a really good kick. It's like a hips to it, okay? Lovely Afrikaans word, hips to it. So for a foliar feed, you would use 2 scoops, okay, into 5 liters of water. That's it, 2 scoops into 5 liters of water. And when you're doing a foliar feed, guys, you would use a spray bottle. Okay, fine, misty spray, which means it's even going to go further. So that would be 2 of these scoops. What's in here? What's in here and why should I be using it? Well, number 1, it's got our macro and micronutrients. So what does that mean? You're going to ask me, what does that mean? Well, at the end of the day, macro and micronutrients, and I like to describe it like in a plate of food. Sunday lunch. Rice, vleis, aardappels. Those are the N, the P, and the K. Those are your nitrogen, potassium, and your phosphates. Those 3 are the whole building blocks, the main ones that we need. Nitrogen for good green growth, potassium for amazing flowers and strength, and then your phosphates for good root development. Plus in this are the micronutrients. What are the micronutrients? That's what we put on to make our plate pretty, says Tanya. That's the peas and the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts. Yeah, and then you move them around the plate, and then you hide them under the gem squash. Yeah, no, I didn't say that. But anyway, or unless you smother it with cheese sauce. Yum, I'm hungry. Okay, so that's the way I like to describe macro and micros. Your macros are there, but if you don't eat your carrots, if you don't eat your peas, if you don't eat your broccoli, you are not going to be balanced, and you're not going to get that fiber, those amazing nutrients that you need. So NP and K is fine, but you need the macros to support it, and this is full of the macros. What has it got in here? Zinc for strength, copper for resilience, okay, molybdenum, which is a good viral repellent. It's like gives the plant incredible resilience and strength in its leaves. Boron, the list is endless. But what I really want to get to is that bang for buck, you get a lot out of it, okay? And it's going to give you that nutrition. So you need one of these for a foliar spray, guys. You seriously need one of these. You see, fine water droplets. Now, at this point, I'm going to move my computer just a wee bit over to the edge because I'm just going to show you very quickly on how to mix this, guys, because I'm going to pimp it. I'm going to add something else to it, which is going to mean that I'm giving it a vitamin B injection. You know, when you're feeling a bit down and you go and you visit the pharmacy and you say, you tell your doctor, I'm not feeling very well. And they say, maybe you need a vitamin B injection. Okay, so foliar feed, 2 scoops. Okay, and your 2 scoops is going to be into 5 liters of water. I do not have 5 liters here. I've got 2 liters, which means I'm going to go 1 and a wee bit. Okay. And then that you're going to mix. Okay, mix inside here. And then I'm going to add something else. Now, don't go mixing this with the sprays that you're going to use for your roses. Please, don't go mixing it. You're only going to use this for food for your roses. And then I'm going to add in some of this stuff. Okay, and that's the vitamin B. This is seaweed extract. It's 10 mils per liter. So in here, oops, I'm going to go 20 mils. There we go. So this is like my vitamin B injection. It's going to give me strength, resilience, more flowers, because this stuff gives you more buds, pollen development, all of that. That's the vitamin B. So mix it all up, and then we have Cowabunga NOS gas inspired foliar feed that we can spray our roses. Now, important. When spraying your roses, guys, please, we're going to spray, okay? We're going to get a good, so you're not going to do this. We don't want a heavy droplet because then it doesn't serve the purpose. We want to cover as much of the leaf surface as possible with a foliar, because then we know, because wherever this is going, it's going to be absorbed. So adjust your nozzle. There we go. Adjust your nozzle and then spray under, spray on top, and give it a good soaking. That is a beautiful, beautiful foliar feed. You can do this every 2 weeks. And you can also do this as a drench. So as a drench, you would dilute it into your watering can. It's a slightly less because it's not as intense. So it would be literally 1 scoop in 5 liters into your watering can, like you're watering your rose. Roger, got that. Nice and easy. That's all you need to do. Okay. Mulching, remember, with roses, don't, and that's with any plant, not right up to the neck, hey? When you're mulching your roses, and keep them well watered. With roses especially, it's better, it is always better to do a good deep watering, rather than little bits at a time. So quench their thirst. A good deep watering. Okay. What do we plant with our roses? Question I'm asked all the time. Guys, what can I plant with them? I want to do this. I want a lavender. I want this. I want that. Okay. Here are a few plants that you can use, and they will work exceptionally well. What I want you to stay away from is tall plants, because it gets difficult for you to actually get in there amongst the roses. Really difficult. Plus the tall plants, like if we used a snappy like this, tall snappy is almost the size, the height of the rose. It's going to stop light from going in there. And it's going to affect the amount of blooms that you need. So low perennials, like this little Sutura, indigenous, beautiful little ground cover that you can have around your roses. Stay where you are there, Mace, because I'm going to come back with 1 or 2 others. I would also suggest that you use beautiful Shasta daisies. This is called Daisy May. This is such an old-fashioned, gorgeous daisy. Proper perennial, old-fashioned Shasta daisy. Alyssum is wonderful around your roses. These are the perennials. So these go on for many months. You get this variegated one. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this lovely purple. And of course, you can grow those from seed as well. Other plants that do exceptionally well around them would be a statice for dry, hot areas as well. Okay. And guys, with it being, so there are a couple of options, all right. But if you do pop along to your local garden centre, they will always be able to advise you on what to use. So, it's October. It's the pink month. Yeah, it's the pink month. And everything's pink around here. I'm loving it. Pink. And I got my pink. How's your father's on? And in celebration of that, there's some wonderful new seeds that I want to share with you. And I've been deciding, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to go there. But yeah, I want to sow them all because, yeah, they're going to be really fun. The first one I want to tell you is this guy over here. So this is it. Come and have a look. And I want to see. So this is this guy over here. Sweet William. Now, it's called Sweet William. Why? Because it has the most gorgeous, 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 absolutely sweet, sweet scent. Sweet William is also known as, some people call it the catch fly. Some will call it, what's that other? Oh, Celine. Some will call it Celine. And you know, this plant used to be classified as a carnivorous plant. True story. Because it's called the catch fly. So why is it called the catch fly? I'm like, why? It's called the catch fly because if you go to the stems are quite sticky. These are of the flowers. These guys down here, they're quite sticky. And that stickiness attracts insects. And the insects actually get trapped to it. And the plant eventually uses that as a source of nutrition. Weird. I know. Weird. But this is incredibly tough seed that can be sown. It's great for cut flowers. I look at these. And they last in the vase so long. Prune it back, cut these, pop them into the vase, and once you have got it, I promise you, once you have got it, you will have it forever. And I'm just feeling, I mean, look here, here's the catch fly. Look how sticky that is. Can you see that? Look how sticky that is there. You can see that's why it's called the catch fly. And you'll find these all along on the bits of the stem. But Kani duetni, you will not kill that. I promise you will not kill it. You can sow it in situ. So you can sow it directly into the garden, or you can sow it in little pots. So that is the one. The other one is that. How cool is that? Come on, we all know Cosmos. We've all picked it on the sides of the road. We've grown it in our gardens, but this one called Candy Stripe is lovely. It's going to get to about 60 centimeters. You can also sow this directly into the garden, or if you don't want to sow directly into the garden beds and you're a bit worried, of course, you can sow them in little pots like this. So sow them into small little pots like this. Let them grow, let them germinate, let them get quite established. And then from here, you can just pop this out and pop it into the garden beds. What is lovely about these guys is because they are tall, they are going to give me the height that I'm looking for in my flower beds. Okay, so that is a winner in my world. This, come on. Ask your gran about this flower, or ask your mom. This is called Godetia. It's also known as Clarkia. Godetia or Clarkia is like tough as nails. It actually comes from parts of Northern Europe where it grows on the warm temperate during the summer, the temperate coastal areas, almost in like sandy soil, like in nothing. So this can be sown into pots as well, or directly into the garden beds. Its flower gets about that tall. They often call it the satin flower because it's beautifully soft. The texture is amazing. So you can pick that and use it in the vase as well. But this is a Kani duetni. Whatever you do, don't love this too much. Don't like give it too much water. Don't give it too much water, like just look at it badly and call it bad names, and don't give it a water because it doesn't like too much love. It really doesn't. It needs tough growing conditions to be at its best. And then beautiful pin needle asters. Aren't they lovely, man? I remember these. From growing up. My dad used to grow asters in amongst the roses and in the garden, and my mom on the other side of the garden. Yeah, they each had designated areas, else they would fight about who did what in the garden. Funny that, hey? Build a Great Wall of China. Anyway, asters are really great, and they're lovely for pollinators, great for the vase as well. So guys, there are some beautiful new seeds. Get them, get out there and sow them, because you know when you find a new seed, it's like you're bringing home a new friend. Nah? Great excitement. Just remember, you've got to sow them. Okay, right guys, we've got a few more things to get through, and I know we're going to get this question if it hasn't come up already, and that is, I've got weeds in my lawn. How do I get rid of them? Well, I'm going to show you some exhibits here. Okay, so with the lawns waking up now, 100%, so are the weeds. And the weeds would have taken hold during cooler months during the time when your lawn was slowing down. That's when the weeds actually like do their thing. So from guys like this to, there we go, the clover, which is an absolute pest, down to this thing here. And so many people are having this problem with this thing. I actually don't even know its name, but I don't care to know its name. But it's that sticky thing. And it's not chickweed. It's different. It's been growing. People have been emailing and asking what can they do with it, because it's actually like gets stuck on the dogs, and it's actually, I've seen it in pictures, stuck on birds, you know, almost debilitating them. And it's this sticky stuff over here. So how do we get rid of them besides sitting on our bums with a glass of orange juice, and weeding? There are safe ways that we can do it, but there are a couple of things I want you to know, and this is super, super, super important. Number one, you are going to need to invest in a good sprayer. Okay, so whether you're doing a sprayer like this, but preferably one of these. Okay, not one of these. I know you've tried it. Hold on, I'm getting cramp. And then you've got two hands. You got two hands. I've seen this, guys. I've seen this radio. I've watched it. Okay, so whatever you do, invest in a good sprayer. It's really, really important. I'm going to talk to you about this over here, Super Lawn Weeder. And guys, very, very, very quickly, Super Lawn Weeder, if you read the instructions and if you apply it correctly, will not kill your lawn. It will kill the weeds. It'll take 2 weeks to take effect. You will need to spray once. If you've got tough perennial weeds, you might need to repeat the application in 2 weeks' time or in 21 days. You need to monitor it to see if these weeds have shriveled up. But the difference is this product here has 3 active ingredients. So remember we spoke about active ingredients earlier? This has got 1, 2, 3 active ingredients. Okay, which means it's going to deal with perennial weeds and annual weeds. Some products that are on the market will only deal with annual weeds. And this is important. And when they're on the shelf together, this one might be 40, 50, 60 Rand more expensive than the other one that's next to it. And that's because this does the perennial weeds and the annual weeds, whereas the other one will only do the annual weeds. And you'll spray it and you'll say, this stuff is useless. It doesn't even work. Well, it's not meant to kill the perennial weeds. It won't. Okay, so Super Lawn Weeder, what's really important, guys, is follow your dilution rates. And your dilution rates are very simple. It's 40 mils into 4 liters of water. 40 milliliters, 4 liters of water. And that on a hot, sunny, windless day, preferably early in the morning, you're going to go out with your sprayer, either one of these, not this, because you'll be here till tomorrow morning still trying to spray, or one of these sprayers, okay, good pressure sprayer that you can hang over your shoulder, and you are then going to spray the weeds. When you spray the weeds, guys, please, it's very, very simple. You are just going to go a nice spray, fine. I want a fine. Let's just pump this one up here a bit. And I just want to show you very quickly, because this is where things can go pear-shaped. Just a fine spray. Okay. You're not drenching it. You're not trying to kill it like that. That is not the point. It's literally just, all you want to do is get fine droplets on top of these. And because I've said to you spray on a hot, sunny, windless day, because if the wind has to take the spray off somewhere, if it lands on a shrub that has got a broad leaf, it's going to kill it. Oh, heck. Okay, so that's why we do it when it's windless. Okay, and it's important that you do that. Keep the dogs and cats off it for an hour or till it is dry, till these little droplets have dried. Just keep the dogs and cats off for an hour, then you can let them run around and all will be fine. So it's as simple as that. The other thing is, guys, it says over 100 square meters. So that 4 liters that you've got must be used over 10 steps this way, 10 steps that way. Measure it out. that must be sprayed over there, which tells you even further that it is a light spray. You're not drenching it. We're not foliar feeding it either. Okay, you with me? All right, guys, sure, that has been a whirlwind. Last thing that I want to say to you is our new issues of The Gardener, Detain Eat, and Grow to Eat are on shelf. We are super proud to be speaking about in this issue the new clematis brought out by Raymond Everson, which is part of an initiative to raise funds for the Red Cross Children's Hospital. Plus there's loads of what to do in the garden, 3 gorgeous pots for some summer magic, potting benches galore, and ideas that you can go home and DIY for yourself. And Grow to Eat is now out for your next 6 months of summer veggie gardening. And remember, Garden Day is coming up on the 12th of October. That's a Sunday, so you should be doing nothing. Think about how you're going to be spending your garden day. Putting out a blankie, having some nice snackalettes, yeah, maybe with your favorite gardening magazine, soaking up a bit of sun. So plan your Garden Day celebrations, and I look forward to seeing what you've been up to on that day, and I'll share mine with you. Guys, lastly, a huge thanks to our sponsors and supporters for today, to Stark Airs, Macro Home and Garden, and to Atlantic. We are hugely proud to be associated with you and to be able to work alongside with you. Guys, that's all we've got time for this week. And this year. Wow. Gosh, that went fast. Okay, till next time, take care of you and yours, and most importantly, happy gardening.
The Gardener Masterclass was proudly brought to you by Stark Airs, the foremost African commercial and home gardening specialists of globally sold premium seed and innovative gardening solutions, growing together for a sustainable future. And the Gardener and Detainee magazines. Get access to the greatest gardening minds, latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips.
If gardening is your passion, digging in the soil is your pleasure, and growing your own food is your mission, we've got a lot in common. Get access to the greatest gardening minds, including yours truly, with The Gardener magazine, filled with the latest gardening trends, inspirational ideas and tips. Available from leading retailers or online at thegardener.co.za. From cover to cover, it's gardening at its best.
If gardening is your passion, or you're simply looking to grow your interest, a brand new season of The Gardener and Friends is coming your way. Join me and my gardening friends, Tanya, sharing her years of hands-on gardening experience, Pindile with her love for all things indoor plants, and Greg with expert advice on the perfect plants to transform your poolside spaces. We'll also be visiting some inspiring gardens brought to life by some of South Africa's most passionate garden professionals. Don't miss The Gardener and Friends from the 6th of October, only on the Home Channel.